Okay, so according to Minnesota Statute 13D.021. Can we mute that for just a second? Sorry, guys.
Sorry, you guys.
Oh, it's really late.
Sorry, you guys.
Meeting by telephone or other electronic means. Persons may monitor this meeting from PEG access. The school board members are reminded to mute their microphone or phone when they are not speaking. School board members wishing to speak should raise their hand in Zoom or in the meeting and then wait to be recognized by the chair. The chair will determine the order in which board members wishing to speak will be recognized. When recognized, the board members should unmute the microphone or phone, speak, and then mute their device. All votes will be conducted by roll call. Each school board member should wait until their name is called before voting. This meeting is being recorded. Access to the recording will be available on PEG Access as normal. So with that, clerk, will you establish a quorum for us, please?
Yes. Kirby Anderson.
Yes, present.
Natalie Knudsen.
We have to turn her up, or can we hear it through our computer?
Well, so it would have been coming through that one, so you'd have to turn it up.
Natalie Knudsen.
Yep, got the,
So you got it?
Melanie Cole.
Present.
Matthew Lemke.
here.
Missy Hermes here. Stephen Megasa.
Gave away.
He's muted.
Does that mean yes?
He's muted, he muted his line on his side.
There.
Where is he?
Now he's talking.
Yes, he's unmuted his line.
Yep.
Stephen Megasa.
Here.
We have a quorum.
That'll work. Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Melanie, do we have a second?
Second.
Kirby? Any discussion? All those in favor, roll call, please.
Natalie Knudsen. Natalie Knudsen.
Just barely here.
Did she say yes?
Yeah, she did say yes.
All right.
Turn it up a little bit
Thank
more.
you. Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Vigasa.
Yes.
Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Agenda is approved.
Thank you. Moving on, we have the resolution acknowledgements. Clerk, do you want to read that?
Certainly. I'd like to offer the following resolution and move for its adoption. A thank you to Shoremaster for their donation of aluminum tubing for the STEM 11 super mileage car.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Melanie seconds. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Vigasa.
Yes.
Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen. The resolution is adopted.
Thank you. Moving on to reports. We're going to start with Kirby Anderson first to talk about the 544 Education Foundation and finance.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute myself. Okay, can you hear me out there? All right, nothing on finance today, but from the 544 Foundation, the foundation board has met similar to the way we're meeting and has voted via email. One of the things that they have sent out, this just was in my mail today, this is the 544 Spring and Summer newsletter. And I'll just go through it real quick. There's a number of things. There's of course, the greetings from our fearless leader, Jeff Drake. And of course, Jeff is one of our board members. They're talking about the gift of $110,000 from one of our graduates. That's a big full-page splash. Ukulele grants, spring and summer donors, steam ahead with robots and Legos. A full page from Amy Besky on her reflections on Teacher of the Year. And then talking about upcoming things, class reunions this summer if they happen, the Legends Golf Tournament on July 10th. Some of the things have already been postponed. The retired staff reunion, which was scheduled for May 21st, has been postponed. The senior recognition ceremony for Monday, May 4th has been postponed. A nonprofit vendor fair, that's been postponed. So there's a lot up in the air right now, which is not surprising. But right now, they've been sending out emails and doing all of their voting by email or and looking at meeting similar to this with the Zoom. So kind of the sign of the times right now. But that's my report from 544 Foundation.
Any questions for Kirby? Thank you, Kirby. Melanie Cole, Special Ed Co-op, Region 1 and activities.
All right, activities has not met, so nothing to report there. The Special Education Cooperative met last week, and there was nothing extraordinary to report, just a general update on how staff is adapting and the presentation of the educational services for special education students online. Then there were personnel matters. It was the large board meeting, and nothing extraordinary to report. For the Region 1 Cooperative, they continue to offer services to the member districts, and there was discussion about the business conference. About 265 to 270 people attended. It was, again, a good conference. And just talked about the manner in which we're staffing at this time. Nothing extraordinary there either, so not much to report, but both meetings were done via the electronic means, which is getting to be kind of the norm, so that's all I have.
Any questions for Melanie? Thank you, Melanie. Missy Hermes, Staff Development and Policy.
The policy committee has not met, but it looks like we'll be going through and meeting soon. But the staff development committee did meet on Monday, April 6th, again by electronic means. And this was a very good meeting. And one of the things that we talked about is that the in-service that was scheduled for March, where teachers were going to be doing their cultural training, cultural competency training, which is necessary for you to renew your license now. Because that's been postponed, will Pelsby extend that requirement? And so that is still up in the air right now. I'm hoping, they should make a decision soon. But some of the other things that were discussed at this meeting were whether the staff development representatives should continue on this committee. They would normally be going off soon. And so with some input from superintendent, it was decided that our staff development representatives, just for some continuity, would stay on this committee a little bit longer. In addition to that, the last time I reported, the budget had already been depleted for this school year. but because a lot of trainings have been canceled, then some of that money has been put back into the budget. And so I really was impressed that some of the staff were able to quickly find ways to get some training that's really important right now. And so a lot of our counselors and school nurse will be going to an online conference on children's mental health at the end of this month. And so we were able to fund that where before we didn't have that money in the budget. And it sounds like it's something that we're really going to need. And that is what we talked about at the staff development committee meeting.
Any questions for Missy? Do you have policy? Do you have some policy? Do you have some policy too? Policy?
I said, yeah,
Oh,
there
no,
was.
that's it. No, that's what I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I
Any-
started.
Any questions for Missy? Thank you, Missy. Natalie Knudsen, Wellness and Buildings and Ground. You got that pump her up.
I'm wondering if it's best if we shut that all down and everyone just uses their Zoom on their computers.
One sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
okay. So the buildings and grounds, we're gonna be, approving all for bids for the KSS tennis court and the parking lot later today. Other than that, nothing new to report there. And then wellness, I actually chatted with in cohort school nurse today. About a few different things, but one of the things we're looking at alongside Jackie Garcia is to get another 3 good things initiative rolling within the district and the community. And I think that will align with some of the cultural development stuff that has started prior to this whole thing. And I also just chatted to her a little bit about just some wellness ideas and some things to keep in touch with the staff. And some things that even the students will be able to tap into. So, nothing really new, but we just had a good chat.
Okay, any questions for Natalie? Thank you, Natalie. We're just getting some back feed, that's why I'm smiling. It echoes. Okay, for my reports, Lakes Country Service Co-op Board, we did meet virtually on April 9th, just to talk about a few things. One of the positives of this COVID-19 is the technology and Lakes Country Service Co-op networking groups that they've started with area schools and being able to log together with different cohorts, so grade level, your ALSC, business managers, superintendents, secondary teachers, and for different subject matters that they've been teaching. And they have felt that it's been a very positive, just to be able to bounce off ideas, what's working, what's not working. And they've gotten feedback about even continuing that on after this is all done, because they felt that it's been very nice to be able to actually meet up as a group and talk to other school districts and other teachers and be able to bounce ideas off, and they just think it's been very valuable. So that's been one positive of just on the networking part of it with groups. The other thing just to talk about that's not a positive is that they did talk about the state budget forecast to us as a group, and before we went into this, they were figuring we were going to have about a $2 billion surplus. They're feeling that after we come out of this, and again, this is just projections, but they're feeling that it'll be between $3.4 to $6 billion state deficit coming out. And so they don't, so there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to have to look at. We might be reverting back, even for our funding, back some time ago when they kind of held money back from school districts and paid us in the second year for funding purposes. So that's one way that they can balance their budgets. So that was one of the negatives. And then just because of the COVID-19 and not knowing exactly how long this might continue on for stay at home and things, they did cancel the summer Lakes Country Service Co-op annual meeting. I shouldn't say Lakes Country Service, the co-op meeting, annual meeting that they usually have in the summer. They decided to postpone that and just reschedule it for next year. For the Minnesota High School League, they are, I think, reacting more than anything. They did not meet they were supposed to have a meeting here in April, and they decided just to have a work session meeting to talk about, I think, trying to, if school would come back and start May 4th, what an abbreviated schedule would look like for the sports teams and how that would function and work. But that's all, again, all subject onto the governor and the decisions that the state makes. So, and that was kind of their discussion, and to be honest, their whole work session was about that. So, so that's what I have to report. Any questions? Okay, Steve Vigasa, Legislative Liaison, Meet and Confer, and Curriculum Review.
We have in the summer, they decided to postpone that.
Oh, that's a delay.
For the Minnesota High School League, they are, I think, reacting more than anything. They did not meet.
Why such a long delay?
We were supposed to have a meeting here in April, and they decided to have a world session meeting.
It's all bad right now?
Schools will come back,
Everybody's at home.
what
Sure.
would look like for sports teams, how that would function and work. All of that's all taken and notified down to the governor. And that was kind of the discussion, a large their whole representation. So that's what I have to report. Any questions? Steve Vigasa.
Okay, so I just,
Meeting for and curriculum review.
all right, the delay is so bad, you just finished talking on my device, just so you know. Everybody's just sitting there staring at me. I'm waiting for Matt to stop talking without moving his lips.
It's just a ventriloquist.
Okay, so my three committees, well, my two committees, my meet and confer and the curriculum review is not met. The legislative liaison, so Matt, you kind of touched on it a bit, there's going to be a significant reduction in surplus of the budget, if not going negative. They don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, with revenues going down, I look at the economic update and, everything is just down. We're going to, businesses aren't going to be selling as much, sales taxes are going to be lower, it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a very long-lasting ripple effect as far as what funding will look like for schools in the future, but nobody really knows. So the biggest thing that's happened now is we're just trying to, the governor, obviously everybody knows, executive order to stay at home until May 4th. He's extended the emergency, I forget what he called it, the emergency state till the 13th, just, to help with funding, but one thing he did say that he says that there's a very slim chance that we'll be back in school this year yet for regular classes. So I think most people that I've talked to anyways are, I think people are planning just not going back, but who knows? We'll wait till May the 4th and we'll see what happens there. So that's about all I've got right now.
Any questions for Steve?
Steve?
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, general consent items. We have the minutes for the March 23rd, 2020 board meeting.
March 23rd, 2020 board meeting.
Do you want me to give my report?
Oh, sorry. Oh. We're going to go back. Sorry. Superintendent Drake.
We're gonna go back. Sorry. Superintendent Drake.
All right, good evening. First, just a quick update in light of keeping Children's Corner and Sue Stafke in the loop on where the Lincoln project was at. I did have a conversation with her on the phone today, indicated that we are looking at options and that we will keep her and Children's Corner abreast of developments as we make decisions moving forward. A couple unfortunate cancellations, but certainly understandable under the circumstances. The local Dollars for Scholars Spring Awards Banquet has been canceled. That was scheduled for April 29th. And I just received word today too that the Lakes Country Honors Banquet has been canceled. That was set to take place on May 13th. Some good news to pass along. The 2020 Best Communities for Music Education Award. There were 11 school districts in Minnesota that were recognized, and Fergus Falls was one of them, so that's a lot to be proud of. The only other district kind of up in this area was Ulen-Hitterdal. So everything else was largely located down towards the metro, with the exception of Albert Lee and Casson-Manorville. And then I would like to congratulate the following students on their junior duck stamp entries. I received this information from the Prairie Science classroom. In 4th through 6th grade, and just as a note here, there can be multiple first place, second place winners. But in 4th through 6th grade, first place was by Bryn Blondeau. And I'll apologize in advance if I mispronounce anyone's name. Second place was Trygve Ronovic, Olivia Bernstetter, and Elsa Retzlaff. Third place, Samarine Chehal, Kara Morales, and Cooper Miller. And there were numerous honorable mentions. And then in the 7th through 9th grade, second place was Adrian Blondeau, and third place, Michael Vermel. So congratulations to those students. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances, student news is a little tough to come by these days, but we certainly are proud of those accomplishments.
Any questions for Superintendent Drake? Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, general consent items. Okay, we have the minutes for the March 23rd, 2020 board meeting. Bills and Treasury report. Kirby Anderson.
Yes, on the treasurer's report, we had approximately $3.6 million in receipts this month and about 2.8 million going out, 2.7 million. So our balance went up about $800,000. As we reviewed the bills tonight, Matt Lemke and I met with Blake and went through all the bills. A few things that stood out to keep you informed. We had a couple of subsection attorney payments that when we posted the subsections and we send that money into the State House School League and then they refund us a good portion of that back again. So that's a flow through. Interesting that we've been buying trombones and some of our Apple computers, and the 544 Foundation has generously paid for a good portion of those. We also bought some welding equipment, and the Perkins grant covered a portion of that. So nice to see that support come from outside. We had some chiller payments for some work done over in Roosevelt, two or three different ones of those. Another interesting thing is when we bought all the Chromebooks, it was $116,000 worth of Chromebooks, and we've also been keeping track of any other expenses that have been COVID-19 associated. For instance, the Seesaw software payment of $3,300 for our K through 2nd grade. And Blake and his staff have been working to code those to see if there's, at some point in time, we may be able to get some reimbursement for some of those funds that we've been expending because of this. Other than that, pretty much the normal stuff. One exception was we did make a payment on the music trip to Washington DC that is scheduled for Memorial Day, and that was $32,000, and so we don't know if that's going to happen or not, and we've been told that those will be refunded if it doesn't happen, so hopefully that is the case. Hopefully we can make that trip, but if not, then we'll have to go down that path. And so that's my treasurer and bill report. Are there any questions?
Just a quick comment. I should have included this in my report. The Washington DC trip has been canceled at this point.
Okay.
So
That is the music trip?
yes, the band.
Okay.
Yeah. So Scott will work with the whatever travel agency we were using for part of it. The transportation was through Otter Tail Coaches, so
Right.
that should go very smoothly. It would only be other expenses involved with it.
Yeah, music celebrations, international. So, yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Thank you, Kirby. Personnel, Elaine Jenke.
Yes, good evening. The only changes that we have are with our certified teaching staff, and all of them are with our IQ Academy online school. And they're all increases with current staff that we already have on board. Sandy Sundblad and Vanessa Jacobson increased their contracts as indicated on the agenda. And then teaching overloads, these are all full-time staff already doing an extra workload. Lynette Ringquist was an elementary teacher, and then 2 special ed teachers, Sarah Steinbrenner and Julie Ellingson. And then also we have received intent to negotiate from Education Minnesota Fergus Falls Special Education Paraprofessionals Association. So I recommend all those for approval.
Do we have a motion to approve the general consent items?
I make that motion.
Okay, Melanie, do we have a second?
Second.
Missy, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Vigasa.
Yes.
Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen. The motion carries.
Thank you. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to switch computers here. I think this one is why there's such a delay. So I'm going to log into this one. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, I think this will work better. Okay, our next, we have old business next. We have the FY21 financial budget for the Fergus Falls Public Schools. Do I have a motion to approve that FY21 budget?
So moved.
Melanie? Melanie approves. Do we have a second?
Second?
Kirby? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Vigasa.
Yes.
Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen. Natalie Knudsen.
Yes.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, we have a resolution on the discontinuing and reducing educational positions and programs. I will read the resolution. Whereas the School Board of Independent School District Number 544 adopted a resolution on January 27th, 2020, directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions, and whereas said recommendations have been received and considered by the school board, be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District 544 as follows, that the following programs and positions or portions thereof be discontinued. K-12 positions is 4.63 FTEs, and we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G with the different departments. I don't think I have to go through each individual one.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, as indicating.
Would somebody offer that resolution, move for its adoption?
I'll offer that resolution and move for its adoption.
Okay, Melanie, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Kirby, for the second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen.
That was yes.
Yes.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Vigasa.
Yes.
The motion is adopted.
Thank you. Item number 2 is the lease agreement between ISD 544 and the Fergus Falls Community Child Care, Inc., Children's Corner, effective 3/12 of 2020. Do I have a motion to approve that agreement?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Oh, excuse me, motion was made by Missy. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Melanie, seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motions? Oh, roll call, please.
Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen. Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Vigasa.
Yes.
Motion?
Motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you. Item number 3 is the call for bids to repair the Kennedy Secondary School tennis court and Kennedy Secondary School parking lot. Blake, do you want to just talk about it real quick if you want to?
So we're doing some restriping. So we are planning on doing some restriping and resurfacing on the parking lot where we're currently in the buses park. They're going to angle the lines a little different to make it easier for the buses to pull in and park easier. They're going to make the numbers bigger. Everything's just going to be increase the safety and the convenience for the workers for Otter Tail coaches currently. Attached to it, the bid is going to also be a part of the tennis courts that need to be resurfaced because currently they're in tough shape. Right now, the current plan is to do asphalt, but I know they're going to entertain other types if it's cost effective for us. And as Mark said to me, it depends on how far we want to go down that road and how much we want to spend on the tennis courts. So that's just the overall scope of what the bids that are going to come in and cover.
Any questions for Blake before we take the motion?
I move that we call for bids to repair the KSS tennis courts and parking lot.
Okay, we have a motion by Melanie. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Got a second by Kirby. Any discussion?
So the bids will call for primarily for asphalt, but they're being encouraged to submit other types of surfacing? Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Melanie Cole.
Yes?
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Biggessa.
Gave a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay. Kirby Anderson,
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen, the motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 4 is a revision to the 2019-2020 Fergus Falls School District calendar, changing March 17th, 2020 as a non-instructional day for students. Do we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Melanie. Do we have a second?
Second,
Second by Missy. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
yes. Love to do another roll call. Matthew Lemke,
Yes.
Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Biggessa. Kirby Anderson,
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen,
Say yes.
she said yes.
Yes.
It carries.
Thank you. Item number 5 is the renewal of the Workers' Compensation Service Agreement between Associate Benefits and Risk Consulting and ISD 544, effective May 1st, 2020 through May 1st, 2021. Do we have a motion to approve that?
So move.
We got a motion to approve by Kirby. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Melanie. Any questions?
Is it continue to be about the same rate? Do you know?
It's lowered. Actually, I'll go back on that. Oh, actually, sorry. Just 1 second, I'll unmute myself. The price is exact same as our contract previously, so there is no increase in it. And these are our watchdogs over our current workers' comp program. And our workers' comp program has gone down. So it's been working very well for us.
Good, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Kirby Anderson,
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen, Melanie Cole,
Yes.
Matthew Lemke,
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Biggessa,
You said yes, but
did he? Okay,
there it is.
all right, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 6 is our 2020 to 2021 IQ Academy School Calendar. Do we have a motion to approve that calendar?
So moved.
Motion by Missy. Do we have a second?
Second that.
Second by Kirby. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Stephen Biggessa, Kirby Anderson,
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen,
There you go. Got a yes.
Melanie Cole,
Yes.
Matthew Lemke,
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Motion carries.
Thank you. That concludes our regular school board meeting. Our next meeting will be Monday, April 27th, 2020, 5:15 p.m. right here at Kennedy Secondary School Media Center, unless something changes from that time. So now to that time. Following this, we will go into a work session to talk about facilities and staff work schedules. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion by Melanie. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Kirby. Any discussion? All those in favor? Yep, roll call, please.
Yes. Melanie Cole,
Yes.
Matthew Lemke.
Yes.
Missy Hermes, yes. Stephen Biggessa,
Yes.
Kirby Anderson,
Yes.
Natalie Knudsen.
Yes. Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. We are adjourned.